Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to look at modal verbs today. I'm going to look at what we know as the perfect infinitive. We're basically going to be working with modal verbs, and we're going to be conjugating those verbs with perfect tenses. So I'm basically going to be looking at modal verbs plus perfect tenses. I'm going to kind of ask yourself, if you don't know what the perfect tenses are in English, to have a look at my earlier videos, because I'm just going to build on knowledge which I think you've already acquired from watching my earlier videos. So I did say I was going to continue looking at tenses, because they're the bane of most people's lives. But once you've mastered their skills, their transferable skills, you can use them at work. If you're a blogger or a journalist or writer, quite a few of the people who follow the platform are not even writers, but I'm pretty sure you might benefit from these videos in whatever field or profession you find yourself, if you're required to use English as part of your job. I have already identified modal verbs in a writing workshop, and I'm just going to skim through them today. I have already introduced yourself, so the words must, can, can't, shall, should, ought, need, can, could, will, would. And today I'm just going to build on the rule that says they work with the past participle. I'm going to look at fixed expressions, I'm going to give my examples, and then I'm going to explain the rule that governs how they work. She must have gone to the cinema last night because she came back after 12 o'clock. If you have a look at the screen, I'm assuming that this is something that definitely happened. She can't have been the girl I was speaking to, because the other lady looked slimmer. I'm expressing something which I think, based on evidence, is not the truth. She could not have passed a maths exam because she was so poor at arithmetics. I'm expressing an opinion about something I think is true based on my earlier evidence. You should have rung the bell before you walked into the living room. I'm expressing an idea about a behavior that I think is desirable. You should not have rung her at 3 a.m. in the morning. I'm expressing an opinion about a behavior that I think is acceptable. I'm going to go quiet for a minute as you have a look at the examples on the screen. I'm going to continue looking at perfect tenses, how they work with the infinitive, and how they work with modals. The words I introduced, ladies and gentlemen, are referred to as modal verbs. By way of introduction, although I've already put this on the page, modal verbs express an emotion, a certainty or uncertainty. They might be used to indicate politeness, and they govern the main verb. They modify the verb that follows. So modal verbs are in charge. So they then sort of regulate the emotion, or they regulate the work that the other verb does. We have a fixed structure. When you have a structure in English grammar, where you have have, H-A-V-E, plus a past participle, we call this a perfect infinitive. Please have a look at the examples on your screen. She must have gone to Odeon Cinema last night because she came back after 3 a.m. in the morning. I can't find my iPhone. I must have left it in the garage. Please have a look at the examples on your screen. Can't have plus past participle. I'm working with both affirmative and negative tenses. Affirmative means there is no NOT. They're positive. Negative means it has an NOT in the verb. So an affirmative will be must have. A negative will be must not have. Please have a look at the differences on your screen. Can't have plus past participle. President Beer couldn't have fallen into so much debt. That's unbelievable. There can't have been an economic crisis. Should have plus past participle. You should have asked your mom before staying out that late. We should have thought twice before voting them in. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to go quiet for a second while you have a read of the modal verbs on the screen. If you're clever, you would have noticed that I'm using participles which are introduced in my earlier videos. I did tell you that participles are words which speakers of other beautiful languages might have to learn. And I did say these are designated words. By way of recap, I'm looking at fixed tenses as we still continue to deal with tenses in our writing workshop, and I'm today looking at perfect infinitives and modal verbs. Shouldn't have plus past participle. I'm expressing something which happened which I didn't think was desirable. Mariette shouldn't have slapped her daughter vigorously. Needn't have. I'm going to express something that was done but I think was unnecessary. You needn't have written that poem for me. I felt overwhelmed. You needn't be so careful. Everyone else is asleep. Ladies and gentlemen, please have a look at the examples on your screen. Ought to have plus past participle. Now I'm going to use a modal verb to express a duty or obligation or where the rules are set. You ought to have paid your taxes. May have plus past participle. I'm using the word may, the modal verb, to express the possibility that an action took place in the past. If you're an avid reader, you may have noticed that a lot of my poems are about Sierra Leone. I'm going to go quiet for a second while you have a read of the examples on your screen. Might have plus past participle. And you're going to use this fixed infinitive and modal verb tense to express a past possibility. The cops might have heard some rumors about LAC. Please have a look at the examples on your screen. Could have plus past participle. I'm going to look at making a reference to something that happened in the past that should not have happened that way. Expresses past reference about something that was not carried out. You could have passed your GCSEs if you'd studied harder. Ladies and gentlemen, please have a look at the example on the screen. Would have plus past participle. This is what we call the third conditional. So I've introduced this tense in a very simple way. I just went would plus have is a fixed tense. Would plus have is a fixed tense. The actual grammatical name for it is the third conditional. But I don't want to confuse yourselves. Now, it's going to express a condition that could have happened dependent on another situation occurring earlier. So, I would have gone to America if I could afford a plane ticket. Alusine would have married Marietta if he was fuller. So I'm saying that I didn't go to America because I couldn't afford to. And I'm saying Alusine didn't marry Marietta because Alusine wasn't fuller. Just to recap, we've been looking at perfect infinitives with modal verbs. Ladies and gentlemen, you might want to have a look at the examples on your screen. In the second part of this video, once you've mastered these tenses, I'm going to look at inflecting these tenses, complicating them a little bit. I'm going to bring in adverbs between the parts of the verbs, and I'm going to show you some other variations. As usual, if you got any questions about what I've already discussed, please leave your comments in the comment section. What have we got up to today? Do have a nice and pleasant one.